All right, well, welcome everyone. So we're going to start lying on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana, and now would be a great time to start the playlist. Be eyes heavy or shut, hands on hips, or maybe one on your stomach. Starting to work with our breath. Just being present to the class. So you're pushing your day to your side and just kind of focusing on your practice today. It's about to leave it all on the mat this evening. Maybe a couple more cleansing breaths. We're going to make our way into a comfortable seated position, like a Sukhasana or easy pose, legs crossed. Just want to warm up the lats and the obliques before we start class today. So remember, we'll start with a deep inhale, reaching and rising. I'm going to grab right hand, left knee, and reach my left arm behind me. Start a deep twist here. Standing up nice and tall, pulling up through the crown of your head. Creating length in the spine. And as we release this, don't unwind too quickly. Just slowly come out of the pose. Inhale, reach and rise. Left hand, right knee, and reach behind you. Again, creating length in the spine here. Really using our obliques, our twisting abdominal muscles here. And slowly unwinding. Bringing our hands to the mat, we're going to come into a tabletop position. Just to warm up the spine and the abdominals, we're going to go through some cat-cows. So you inhale, just let the belly hang soft, reaching the crown of the head up. Deep inhale. As we exhale, pull that belly button, the spine, and round the upper back. And just create a nice, even flow between the two. And finishing the one you're working on. Finding some stillness in tabletop. Come into sunbird now. Just scooch up on my mat a little bit. Start by extending my left leg out. Maybe this is enough for you. Not, just pick up your right arm. And creating length on both sides of the body. So reaching to the front of the room with the crown of the head, with the fingertips, and driving that left heel back. Coming through tabletop, switching sides. Driving the right heel back, and if you want, lifting up the left arm. Creating length in your neck, again, pulling ears away from shoulders. You're going to have your traps lifted at all in this pose, or very little at least. We use our Uddiyana Bandha, belly button, the spine, for that extra little bit of stability in the pose. Switching sides again, sunbird. Left heel back, right arm extended. And coming knee to elbow. And driving through the heel and reaching to the front of the room. And just creating your own flow at your own pace. Let's stay here for a couple seconds. And switching sides. Maybe you come in between, maybe just kind of wag your tail a little bit. That feels good in your hips for switching sides. And again, creating flow on this side. Making sure we have that nice flex foot behind us. Really push through that back heel. Finding stillness, coming back through tabletop. Curling up on the toes. Pressing away as we zip up through the abdominals. Coming to our first downward facing dog of the practice. Again, maybe especially to start, you have a good bend in your knee. We're just beginning the session, so be gentle on your hamstrings. You want to pedal out your heels to warm them up. Maybe warm up the hips a little bit, wag your tail side to side. So whatever you need to do to get comfortable in this pose, maybe it's even taking your stance a little wider. Stay here for a few more breaths. Walking feet to hands. Hanging in a forward fold of your choice. I usually like to start with ragdoll. Hugging opposite elbow to opposite elbow. Maybe resting the rib cage right on the quadriceps. The important thing here is keep that head nice and heavy. Turning it side to side. Now up and down. Whatever you need to do to take tension off the neck. Releasing the hands, pushing through the feet, nice and rooted down. Inhaling, reaching and rising. Exhaling, hinging at the hips, hands through heart center, forward fold. Now zipping up through abdominals, pulling belly button back to spine. Coming to a halfway lift. Pushing the head to the front of the room. Shoulders away from ears. And hinge at the hips, forward fold. We'll do another half salutation. Inhale, reach and rise. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale into our halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Drive through the feet. Inhale, reach and rise. Hinging at the hips, forward folding. Inhale the halfway lift. Hands to the mat, bringing the right leg back in a runner's lunge. Just being gentle on the hip flexor just to start. Maybe you want to put the knee down, lean into it a little bit, whatever you need to do to warm that up. Bringing the left leg back to match. Coming into our high plank, knees up or down. Pushing forward onto our toes. Hugging the sides as we low through chaturanga. Inhaling the back bend, pushing through the tops of our feet. Going up on the toes, pressing away into our downward facing dog. Walking or hopping feet and hands. Coming through the flow. Inhale the back bend. Hinge at the hips. Forward fold. Drive through the feet. Deep inhale, reach and rise. Hinging at the hips, forward folding. Pulling up through our halfway lift. Shoulders away from ears. Hands to the mat. Left leg back in a runner's lunge. And maybe leaning into that hip flexion to warm it up a bit. A soft stretch. Right leg back to match. Pushing forward, hugging the elbows in. Inhaling the back bend. Pressing away, downward facing dog. Building a little fire now. Walk or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale the halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Driving through the feet, reaching and rising. Hinging at the hips, forward folding. Inhale the halfway lift. Hands to the mat, high to low push-up. Pushing hips forward into our upward facing dog. Curling up on the toes, downward facing dog. Walking or hopping feet to hands. Inhale the halfway lift. Exhale, sitting back into our chair pose. So strong as possible. Knees stack or ankles as much as we can. Feel like everything bowing the lower back. Pull belly button back to spine. Here for a couple breaths. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Drive through the feet, reach and rise. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale the halfway lift. Hands to the mat, high to low push-up. Inhale the back bend. Press away, downward facing dog. Remember, anytime you need to skip the chaturanga, just meet us in downward facing dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Step into the front of the mat. Coming into our crescent lunge. And strong here, heel over the ball of our foot. Very good. If you're using a block, put it on the right side, or if you have a block on both sides of the mat, that'd be ideal. Opening the hips to the side of the room, coming into our warrior two. Straightening the front knee. Pulling to the front of the room like someone's grabbing your wrist. Lowering the fingertips, coming to our triangle pose. If you can't quite reach the mat, having a block right behind you is a great modification for a triangle. Coming into our twisted triangle, left hand to the mat. Open the opposite side. Using our obliques here. Both hands to the mat. Drive through the feet back into warrior two. Palms to the ceiling. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale through warrior two. Forearm to quadricep, reach for the front of the room. Add a little bit of core. Pick up the top hand. Press through the feet back into warrior two. Now we're going to add half moon to the pose. If you don't want to do that, you can either just go into another triangle or sit here in warrior two. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of launch off the back foot. Open my hips to the side. Here we want to drive through our back heel in half moon. Open our chest to the side of the room. Slowly, carefully lowering back into warrior two. Cartwheel our hands to the mat. Come through our vinyasa. There's a lot of poses in that set, so great job, everyone. Left leg, three-legged dog. Step to the front of the mat. Come into our crescent lunge. Opening into our warrior two. Straightening the front knee, slight bend in the front knees, have to be completely locked. Hold to the front of the room when someone's grabbing your wrist. Lower your fingertips to the mat. Open your triangle. Right hand to the mat. Fire up those obliques, twisted triangle. Lowering both hands to the mat. Driving through your feet back in warrior two. Reversing our warrior. Not giving up integrity in that front leg as we bring up the arm inhale. Coming through warrior two, forearm to quadricep. Reach for the front of the room. Add a little bit of core. Press through your feet back to warrior two. Either staying in warrior two now, positioning your block somewhere safe, pushing off the back foot. Coming into our half moon. Now, if I had a second block, I'd cue twisted half moon, but I can't really do that super well. But that's something you'd like to add to the flow. Feel free to do so, especially if you have that second block. Slowly lowering the back foot. Back into our warrior two. Cartwheel to the mat. And let's go through our flow again. Meeting downward facing dog. Walking or hopping feet to hands. Inhaling the halfway lift. And look at that right at the beginning again. Coming into our chair pose. And forward folding. Driving through the feet, reach and rise. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale the halfway lift. Hands to the mat. High to low push-up. Meet me in downward facing dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Step to the front of the mat. Coming into our crescent lunge. Here for a couple breaths. Flatten the back heel. Coming into our warrior two. Straighten the front knee. Pulling to the front of the room. Coming into our triangle. Good alignment. From left to right fingertips. Left hand to the mat. Open, twisted triangle. Taking some conscious breaths here. It's a lot more difficult to breathe in twisted poses, in balanced poses. Lowering both hands in front of the front foot. Drive through the heels. Back into our warrior two. And keep it integrity in that front knee. Reversing our warrior. And the lats, a good stretch here. Sending breath into that right lung. Deep inhale, exhale. Through warrior two into our extended side angle. Driving through the feet, back into our warrior two. And again, safely, if you can, launch off the back foot. Coming into our half moon. If you wanted to add that twisted half moon variant, please feel free to do so. That's a little difficult for me with just one block. Lower back into our warrior two. Cartwheel the hands to the mat. And vinyasa to the other side. Left leg, three-legged dog, stepping to the front of the mat. Coming into our crescent lunge. Open into our warrior two. Straighten the knee, pull to the front of the room when someone's grabbing your wrist. Lower the fingertips. Open to triangle. Deep inhale here. Reach the right hand to the mat. Push out that breath as you're twisting. Both hands are framed the front foot. Driving through the feet back into our warrior two. Palms to the ceiling. Inhale. Reverse our warrior. Back through warrior two, forearm to quadricep, coming into our extended side angle. Really, you want to really open your chest to the side of the room, almost like you're trying to stack one shoulder over the other. Pushing through the feet back to our warrior two. And again, if that agreed with you, come into half moon. Push off the back foot, reach for the block. As I push up all these half moons, I'm really regretting doing squats a couple days ago with my brother. Well, awesome job, everyone. Come to that twisted half moon variant if you'd like. Or stay in the half moon for a little bit. Slowly lower the back foot. Nice and controlled. Back to our warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to the mat. Well, let's go through our flow again. Walking or hopping feet to hands. And again, going through it. Inhale the halfway lift. Exhale. Coming back into our chair pose. A little shorter this time. And forward fold. Drive through the feet. Inhale, reach and rise. Hinging the hips, forward fold. Inhale the halfway lift. Hands to the mat. Let's come through our flow. Right leg, three-legged dog. Step to the front of the mat. Coming to our crescent lunge. Flatten the back heel. Warrior two. And coming through our triangle series. Pull to the front of the room. Fingertips to the mat. Good alignment here. Left hand to the mat, open, coming into that twisted triangle variation. Both hands to the mat, drive up through the feet. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse our warrior. Coming back to warrior two, forearm to quadricep, extended side angle. Drive through the feet back into our warrior two. Launch off the back leg. Using your front foot as the grounding. Coming into our half moon. It's a big pose, so no need to do half moon for all of these variations. Keep that leg engaged, driving through that left heel. If you are in the pose. Slowly lowering. Nice and controlled. Back to our warrior two. Cartwheel the hands to the mat. Going through the flow. Left leg, three-legged dog. Step to the front of the mat. Into our crescent lunge. Open to warrior two. Straighten the front knee, pull to the front of the room. Lower the fingertips to the mat. All these have your videos on. You guys look great right now. Awesome job, everyone. Right hand to the mat. Twisted triangle. Drive through the feet back to warrior two. Reverse our warrior. Back through warrior two, forearm to quadricep. Coming into our extended side angle. And moving the block over. Back through warrior two. And pushing through that front foot and launching off the back one. There we go. Into our half moon. Awesome job, everyone. Lowering that back heel. Coming into our warrior two and cartwheeling our hands to the mat. Walking your humping feet in the hands. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale, back into chair pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Coming into twisted chair. Starting on the right side. We feel strong. We step back our left foot. If you'd like, you can even bring your hands to the mat first. So try to step back into your whoop, into your crescent lunge. You know, open your twist. Pressing through your feet, into your crescent lunge. Off your back foot, stepping up, back into our chair pose. Twisting to the left side. Make sure to twist the chair, you're not twisting, so one knee's in front of the other. And maybe I'm going to place a hand on the mat this time. I'm going to step back into crescent lunge here. Keeping it twisted, not sinking to the leg too much. Push your tricep away from that thigh. Right hand to the mat. Open that twist. And both hands to the mat. Stepping back the left foot. And coming through our flow. Or meeting in downward facing dog. And really pressing away with the hands. Zipping up through the core. Turning your inner ankles out. You see how that lands in your hips? And we all know how much Tina hates calling this a resting pose, so I won't do that. And lowering the knees. And laying on our backs. We're going to do some abdominals. Start making the shape of a diamond. And that underneath our lower back. Kind of Charlie Chaplin on our feet. Like a little open. We'll start with the feet 5 inches off the ground and the head up. We're just going to do 30, 60, 90 legs. So we're going to go like 30 degrees. 60, 90. 1, 30, 60, 90. 2, 30, 60, 90. 3, 30, 60, 90. Just remember, slowly lower. Concentrate on the negatives here too as we lower our legs. 30, 60, 90. 5. Keep an integrity as we lower. 30, 60, 90. 6. 30, 60, 90. 7. Remember, shaking's good, right? I know our core is really working. 30, 60, 90. 8, I think. Let's go with 8. 30, 60, 90, 9. 30, 60, 90, 10. Slow as you can. And hugging knees to chest. We rock a little bit on the lower back. Great job, everyone. Hands behind the head, bringing elbows to knees. Extend the left leg out. We're going to pump the left leg up 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug knees to the chest. We're going to come up back into like a push-up position. Just going to do a forearm plank. To get a little deep core and burn it out. If you'd like to go on your knees, that's a little easier for you. Feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to interlace my hands and hold my forearms here. No. I'll try to do a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Halfway there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost there, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Maybe pushing into a dolphin for the last one. Ooh. Lowering the knees. Great job, everyone. Planks are always way harder than they look, right? We're going to come into a bridge pose. I'm really happy I have a block today. I love to do in bridge. This only took me like 2 months to order this block, right? Which everyone's having their shipping issues as well. So I'm going to come up and through my bridge pose, driving through my feet, lifting the hips. I'm going to take the block. Maybe I can try to hide a setting. It's been a while. Let's tuck it right underneath my tailbone. It's a similar benefit, just with less effort. Helps us keep the shape. And a great abdominal stretch here. And a very good back bend. That's all that after all that core work. And you're removing the block. Several once again. Slowly lowering through the shape, one vertebrae at a time. Coming up on the knees. Do a little more back bending. Excuse me. All right, well, camel pose, so we're going to do that. We'll start one side at a time. I'm going to come up on the toes just for a little easier access. If you can do full camel, either feel free to do 2 full camels or stay in the shape during the duration. I'm going to inhale, left arm up. Right hand's going to reach for the back heel. It's really important as we lower, not to lower this way, but to use our, to flex our back to lower and push through. Our hip flexors should be pushing to the front of the room. Lower my heels a bit. Slowly coming out, switching sides. Inhale the right arm up if you're doing half, if you're doing the half back bend. And reach left hand to the ankle. Almost broke my own rule there. Push through the hip flexors. Flex the back. And slowly release and lower. I'm going to lower all the way to the mat right now. After all that back bending, just kind of windshield wipe your feet back and forth. And a good lower back relief. Finding stillness. Coming up on the toes. Pushing away as we come into downward facing dog. Right, like three-legged dog. Coming into pigeon pose now. Bringing the leg out in front of you. And here we're stretching two different sides of our hips. On our left side, the hip flexors creating length. And the hip extenders, like the glue, that's what's creating what's in flexion, so it's shortening. It's the opposite on the right side. We're stretching our glute and our hip flexors are closed. Just keep in mind that that's why I love pigeon for hips. Maybe push through the fingertips. Kind of come deeper into the seat. Nice proud pigeon. And lower onto the forearms. Slowly come out of the pose. I like to start off proud pigeon, then on the ball of my foot. Push away, drive that right heel back, give a nice little finish of the pose where we started. And switch sides. Drive through the left heel. Bring the leg out in front of you, almost like a V shape. Extend that back right leg. Push through the fingertips. And again, notice how it's sitting in our hips. Noticing one side's tighter than the other. And it happens, we have those imbalances in the body sometimes when we do yoga, right? And that good stretch on our glute on the left side and really stretching the hip flexor, creating length in the hip flexor on the right side, like our psoas muscle, right? And we'll slowly lower to the mat. Rolling up on the toes. Coming into that proud pigeon. Driving that back heel. Not available too further up on the mat. Back into our downward facing dog. You want to wag your tail a little side to side after all that hip movement. And lower onto our knees. Coming to a staff pose. I'll face everyone for that. We'll start arms up. Again, belly button back, the spine. Then we're just going to hinge at the hips, forward folding over the legs. If that's a little much for you, you can always just shorten your hamstrings, curl your knees, wrap your arms underneath, and pull forward. Or if it's not enough for you, you can always reach the block kind of in front of your foot and reach for that. Choices are yours. Let's remember the stretch is just as much about spinal extension as the hamstring stretch. So really make sure you're pulling the head away from the ears. So I'm going to show on this side here. You start the stretch typically like this with the ears at the shoulders. Just kind of pull through the crown of the head. Create length, keep the ears away from shoulders. Slowly releasing. Tucking one foot in. I'm going to start by tucking in my right foot. Almost like tree pose. Inhale, reach and rise. Forward fold over that front foot. You want to take it twisted like I usually like to demonstrate. Start with both feet, hands on the feet. Your right hand, left foot, left hand thread the needle. Try to reach for that knee, opening the chest to the opposite side of the room. Slowly releasing and switching sides. Left foot in. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, forward fold over that front foot. And slowly and carefully making our way out of that stretch. Lie flat on our backs. Maybe start with Supta Baddha. Soles of the feet touching together. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do double pigeon on my back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my feet up. I got like hair or something attached to my foot. And so you have your feet together. Kind of grab your feet and pull it into you. And it's really not about how much you can bring your foot to you. It's where your feet are positioned, where you can get a deeper hip stretch. So the higher the feet are, the deeper you can get the stretch. And grabbing the outside edges of your feet as they peel away from each other. Coming to our happy baby. And maybe you want to rock the baby a little side to side on lower back. And finding some stillness, extending both feet out in front of you. Just keep an eye at the time here. Oh, actually, we're pretty close. So sending both feet out, coming into our Savasana. Palms to the ceiling. Wow, class really went by quickly today. I always love winding down the winter sun, so enjoy the playlist if you're using it. You know, as we finish the practice, just being appreciative of our bodies and the amazing things we can do with them. And thanking ourselves for doing something for us today. We take so much time out of our day to help others. Just acknowledging it's always great to do something for yourself too. When you're ready, slowly coming up into a comfortable seated position. And as always, just want to thank everyone for spending their Monday evenings with me. So bring our hands together, bow and say namaste. Great job, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.